was weird. I forgot how to get upstairs. My God, it was in front of me the whole time. Okay, there's supposed to be 3 of them. Damn it. who else would know?
Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to be had, and nary a word of complaint out of your clients.
That
Yeah? Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one... all my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees. Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards. Flesh-gnawing, marrow-sipping creatures of pure depravity they are. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna dock my pay.
You can see the whole world from here.
Oh, I'm dead. Yeah. Why does it just jump to settings? Like, oh, you died. Change it up. You clearly can't handle the difficulty. Oh, wow. These things are tiny. No, but there's a whole fucking swarm of them. Oh, right before I seen it.
You can see the whole world from here.
Oh, wow. It's actually pretty beautiful all over there. Nice. Ah, my ankle. Ah, my kneecap. Ow. Everything. me grind things to bits. What are you? Leather boa? Poor guy.
I always wanted to poke around in here.
Oh. Oh yeah. That's
Here we go! Down they go! Everyone all right?
Oh yeah, they can't handle shock damage, right? Ah, there it is. Thought I fucking sold it for a second. Trying disappointed in myself. And then I realized I didn't have to be disappointed. I didn't sell it. Sleeping on the job. What a dick.
Here we go! Not even a scratch!
Alright, I need to stop doing that. Damn. Got fucked up.
System. Sweeping the area.
Nice one! Nice hit! Woo! We made it! The control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing. Here we go! We're pretty good at this! Woohoo!
Yeah, 100%. Totally reactive fire. Not even. Another fucking grenade launcher. Damn it, David.
Easy.
I'm not reading it. I'm not reading it. Okay, I'll have enough time.
Don't mess with us!
How the hell did I miss him when I came in? Or better yet, how did he miss me? Huh. Just terrible. Alright then. Ooh, blood dash. what? I do. We're not doing that yet. That's scary. Not really. I just don't like my options, and I hope there's a third option waiting to be discovered. That's a sprat. He scared me. Yeah. I forgot about that. Crazy.
Thanks. Here we go. Don't mess with us.
Processing.
Everyone all right?
Well, I know what you do, so I'm not going to do that just yet.
You're not real. You're not real.
What the fuck? God. Do I have to assassinate someone? 'Cause I know I'm real.
You're not real. You're not real.
Oh, I'm real, motherfucker.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh.
Oh, that.
Everyone all right?
another one.
Processing. Here we go.
Ah, shit. Ugh. Goddamn hiccups. Just makes magma flow? Oh shit. Ooh, yeah. Nope. There it is. Oh, it already has an extendo sight on it. I don't know if I did that or not. I don't think I did. Doesn't seem like something I'd do. Double the extendo sight. Actually, with this, the extendo sight makes a little sense as well. Not so much my other one. Fun time barrel. That's fine stuff. it's like this fun time almost everybody. Oh, fucking Christ. Fun time barrels everybody's fucking shit.
Not real. You're not real.
What exactly is that?
Get away! No, 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 just leave me alone. Get away!
Nice.
Go away, Phantom! You're not real! You're not real! Get away from me, Phantom! Shoot! Scram! You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. Ugh, I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my imagination, which terrorized me on occasion. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Hard to say. By my reckoning, Higgins has been here somewhere between 2 weeks and forever. My recollection's a touch fuzzy these days. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section.
Nice.
Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons.
Oh, God.
You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy. Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually, I had to resort to more unconventional means of filling my insides. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out.
Damn it. I keep doing that.
Where are we headed?
You know, 100%, there is no right choice on this one, and it sucks. So, I'm going to do Oh, Sprat. Damn. Okay. Wait, what? Faux windows for real? So they're not even real windows? What the fuck?
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every Sunday noon.
Bring us honor, soldier. Bang up work, soldier. You're a credit to your uniform. Oh, that reminds me. Gotta look into getting us a uniform. So this is it, then. The key to humanity's victory over the mechanical hordes. I would reward you with the gratitude of the Resistance, but I'm guessing you want something tactile. So here's a couple bits for your trouble, and a little something to remember me by.
What vending machine? Oh shit, 2 vending machines. Whether above, whether below, it could possibly even be invisible. My money's on below. That's right. Oh god.
Don't mess with us. Nice.
Can I swim or will I die? Well, only one way to find out. Wall. Invisible walls. You know what? I want to see what this is. Guess it's gotta have enemies nearby.
Something I can do?
Just gotta ask him about the lone grave. Apparently, that's just not an option. Terrifying. I would not want to see a fucker like that walk up on me.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
Better yet.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special, on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals.
And it is.
That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Oh, but it brings my defense down? That sucks. That's really cool. What does that thing bring my defense down? Fuck it. Damn.
Anything else I can do for you? I am getting old, you know. These two lamps of mine are not as bright as they once were. Or I might have seen you for what you are. My dear, we are all visitors in a momentary universe. Our lives flicker in and out like the guttering of a flame. Here now, then gone. Me and mine are just carrying on as best we can, trying to live our lives in a way that does not feel wasted. A little prattling never hurt anyone, dear. You might even catch a little sense, if you listen close enough. I can't stop you from conducting your business down at the plant. I just want you to know that if you take our power away, you will have brought an end to our way of life. If you think Reed does anything in good faith, then you are asking to be lied to.
It's not like I have any winning options here, lady.
That's because Reed was my boss. I was the cannery's one and only flavor specialist, you see. Remember that limited run of white chocolate saltuna? That was all me. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear. I could not possibly care less if he does, but you're surely welcome to ask him.
Oh, that hurt. I'm gonna have to rewind that. Hopefully I can find this exact moment. That shit, I swear to God, said your load screen tip can be put here with a little concept with Spacer's Choice Community or something very similar to it. There it is.
If you could see your way to getting us our power back, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead. Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up. If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose. Adelaide's son was barely competent. I treat him with our medical rations, and it looks like I'm playing favorites. Now, I will not pretend to understand the suffering Adelaide must have felt on account of losing her child, but she is not the only one to have felt such suffering. I wish she had stayed with us. Adelaide left us when we needed her most. That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent. Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible.
Cysty pig, Jesus.
Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by, what with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world. Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate. Go ahead.
Oh, great. Wild mushrooms are typically toxic. Y'all are probably not suffering a plague, but poisoning yourselves. Yeah. Fucking Christ.
That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town. Scripture tells us we all have our purpose in the world. Our work shows us that purpose. We should not have to move on from it. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on. Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored Saltuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post. I wish you wouldn't say things like that. I expect you wouldn't understand. You don't see the town as I do. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do. I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the Veil will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
I think I might become an enemy of Spacer's Choice.
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
Go ahead.
Right. However,
I don't have time for this.
okay. Checks out.
I'll meet you on the ship when you're ready to depart.
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you round here too often.
Oh, I just came to talk to the vicar is all. None of us are above confessionals.
Something you need?
Moral guidance. I don't trust either. None of these people. Either groups.
Something got you down?
Nothing. Just don't want to fall sick.
Heard something outside the walls today.
Nothing for us outside those walls. You ought to know that.
Keep your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler. Take him down! One down! Waste of company ammo!
Oh god, I don't know which one to choose. They all seem like awful people. None of them are really evil, though. God damn it, I'm just opening a door. Stop pulling out the gun. What's that?
Spacer's Choice, the brand of choice for spacers on a budget.
Okay, and Jerry.
Music to my ears.
Ah, shit.
It's
I
not
should
the best
probably
choice.
look at those
It's-
mods.
Music to my ears.
too. But I don't want it at that price.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm contractually obligated to recite company slogans to any visitors. Plague got you feeling woozy? Get yourself boozy with Spacer's Choice. Go ahead. The Hope? No, I've never mixed a drink by that name. I could get you a rum and something if you like. Wait, no, never mind. We're all out of something. Yeah, I got vague recollections of some folklore about a mysterious colony ship. You feeling a bit flushed? Look, why don't you go set yourself down in the corner before you get all tangle-footed? Would you keep your voice down? You're gonna get the whole cantina written up. The Hope's folklore, all right? 60, 70-year-old folklore by now. The board don't approve of spreading seditious rumors and falsehoods. You're inviting trouble talking that way, and I don't want a part of it. Look, either shut your gob or stick a drink in it. We're done talking about this. Coming right up.
Dehydrated water. So fucking stupid. Every fucking time. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well.
Once we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow, she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
I don't want to do that either.
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. It's
all good.
I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Damn. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to be part of that type of hatred. That hurt my ears. Damn it, I hate meddling in situations. No way in this place? Oh, I'm just stupid. And if we're blind.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or are you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
You know what, I'm kind of glad that I fucking killed you.
Edgewater's cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her.
Yep, she was a spite person.
Are you sure about this? If we head back to Edgewater on our own, Adelaide won't come with us. She'll stay here and curse us till the end of her days. You know where to find me.
Alright, so I gotta talk to Reed first. This is not a good day. Wow, you're moving slow as fuck.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes. But I have done my best for this town. I am not without compassion for Abernathy's predicament, but the plague has taken a hard toll on us all. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic.
I think it's your fucking king.
The very notion is just grotesque. A raw vegetable? Why don't you just ask me to go chew the bark off of a tree? We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanist couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs.
Actually, I think
sure
I found the
Adelaide
best.
will be glad to see the back of me. I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement. I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
Damn it.
Damn it, I did it again.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
What?
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. Adelaide said that? Was she sober at the time? I never imagined she'd step foot in Edgewater long as Reed ran the town. Something must have changed in Edgewater. Adelaide's good as family. If she's going back, so are we.
Never liked Reed much. Can't say I'm sorry he's gone.
Oh yeah, I gotta check that out. Hold on. Where is that? Journals, maps. That's funny. Was it here? Yes.
Nice one! That gotta hurt! We did it!
Yeah, you did.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Edgewater was on the verge of collapse before you showed up. You sent them power, and now the town might see another season. And you talked Miss McDevitt into coming back to town. Maybe one day, Edgewater will have a garden where that cannery once stood. You ain't exactly a stranger anymore. You done some kindness hereabouts. I wouldn't mind following somebody like that. Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Not one bit.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
Thank God I have a backup engineer. Damn, you have to be on the ground. I feel like I should probably step out of there.
That was quick.
What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Oh God, I hope I don't have to fly.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Ugh, man.
In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Kelly.
Alright, then.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you. Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram. A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath. Science, that's how.
I like it.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Yeah, so this is my hidey spot now. I was looking for a place that was quiet. I figured the kitchen would be louder than the hold, so here I am. Cozy-like, ain't it? Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was. He meant funny as in odd. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. They were real unhappy with us. Because they were hoping their own kid would get the job and get sent back to Edgewater. When folk go away for schooling, they don't get back to where they begun. Not usually. You go straight to your first job, wherever the company's got an opening. Well, it ain't exactly cruel to have the promise of a paying job. And that's all it is. You go where the company needs you, where your skills do the most good. Well, I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to somebody else's schedule. There's times I'm working deep in the guts of a loader, getting it all running perfect. Then I look up to see it's tomorrow, and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for schooling. Yep, nothing much had changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big ol' hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed. About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains.
Damn.
Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing it. How he'd stay up late to help with my projects or listen to my fretting. Oh gosh. Look at the time. Sorry to bend your ear so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape. That's in pretty good shape considering how hard Mr. Hawthorne ran it. It's a Yakita LHA 120. A2 model, I'm pretty sure. The Block 2 design scooshed in extra cargo space but didn't change the stock engines. Probably a touch underpowered, huh?
Accurate in all particulars. I conclude you are Edgewater's board-certified mechanic.
Fly-by-wire's pretty normal. Or leastways, that's what I read in the trades. I've never been on a real ship before. Hello! I am not a board-certified mechanic, but my dad was. He taught me all he knew. Do you understand?
Speech recognition is one of the many skills I have been programmed to simulate.
You're not simulating it, you're doing it! I asked a question and you answered it.
I am gratified you consider this facsimile convincing.
I don't see any holes in the hull. I'll take a good squint at her, make sure everything's tip-top. But I think we're cooking with plasma torches. You can do that, you know. My dad taught me how to make grilled cheese sandwiches with a plasma torch.
Make yourself at home, Captain.
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts? Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony. I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous Philosophist scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Thank you, Captain.
That's cool. Let's finish this lab.
Now around.
Whoa.
Arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
My God. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell Michael. It's a combination. Oh, it's a good combination. It's a fucking glorious combination.
Hello? Can you hear me? Does this work? Oh, damn it! Blast, that's loud.
That's funny.
I'm just securing my ongoing experiments. And securing myself. Mind the mess. I haven't had a visitor since, in fact, I've never had a visitor.
Oh. Shrink ray.
Aha! I see you found my portable molecular compression device, better known as a shrink ray. Find a target, point, shoot. Your target will shrink down into a manageable size, whereupon you may commence beating them to a pulp. Feel free to try it on a marauder sometime. Oh, thank the law. Your skin hasn't spontaneously changed color. Potential side effect of the revival process. Very rare, but you never know. Right. Welcome to my little habitation, such as it is. I've got caffeinoids, cysty bits, if you're into that sort of thing. So, welcome. Make yourself at home. My secret hideout is your secret hideout. The one I gave you before your pod landed, ruined beyond repair. Impossible to find replacement parts. That's Halcyon Manufacturing for you. Don't worry about it. I'm reasonably certain you're not going to spontaneously expire. No need to monitor your recovery. Not at all, my intrepid accomplice. I should thank you for tolerating my somewhat brusque manner. I only regret that I couldn't save more of your fellow settlers, what with being hunted by the board, and emptying my supply of necessary chemicals. Of course. What's on your mind? Oh, it's not you. I do experiments in that room. Some of them get quite scientific. The unexpected is to be treasured, but from a safe distance. Regardless, it's quite comfortable in here, you know. I have my beans, have my caffeinoids, plenty of toilet paper. Absolutely. Let's talk. No, and I've been trying very hard to avoid making eye contact.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Wells. I'm Parvati Holcomb.
Wait, not another word. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know who you are. Let's just enjoy our plausible deniability while it lasts, shall we? Why don't you just invite the entire colony to my secret, carefully concealed laboratory? It isn't as if I wanted privacy. Oh, fine. As long as you're vouching for their character and they aren't touching things. For what it's worth, I am pleased that you found a crew, such as they are. I picked you out of the hope for your talents, after all. It's only natural that others would gravitate toward you. That's odd. I'm at least 65% certain my tone was sufficiently sincere. Perhaps the glass is distorting my voice. Must look into that. What's on your mind? Communications terminal.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? How often do I make jokes about chemistry? Periodically. Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's Choice.
Oddly enough, I do like that thing.
My pleasure, Captain. As you wish, Captain. I must comply with all direct orders.
That's just shit.
I'll be here. We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
Oh, that's a big one. It's probably called the ground.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson? I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff. Gosh, no, Captain. I aim to stay so long as I'm welcome. I figured Junlei and I could confabulate over wireless, or by message. And maybe when we put into Groundbreaker, I could stop by to visit her sometimes. But only when you don't need me with you. Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
I've shut off the visual feed from my ocular inputs in the captain's quarters, so you're free to disrobe whenever you'd like.
As always, I am at your disposal. What's occupying your thoughts? Of course. Are you ready to break into security on the Groundbreaker? If I can access the data cartridge...
Ah, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
I like it. Oh, Jesus. 3:30? Nobody's been watching for 2.5 hours? Yep. I'm doing great. Are you?
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome to Groundbreaker, by the by. Don't mind the heat. Got a few days before it reaches critical. I'm sure Miss Chief Tennyson will get it sorted before then.
Okay.
Hey, Captain. I'm in space. I never thought I'd be able to say that.
Right.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get two with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. Need a trick.
Going for a stroll around the docking base? Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs. The guy insulted my Rizzo's Rangers, all right? You can't just insult my Rangers and expect to get away with it. So, of course, I decked him with a tossball stick. I mean, what am I? Some kind of fair-weather fan? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. Exactly. I was only doing what any self-respecting Rangers fan would have done. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation. Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing. But I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? So your ship's got a dark and violent history? This is just too perfect. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. See you around, boss.
Just arrived? Head over to customs. Wheeler needs to process you.
Customs and inspection, right this way.
Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important. You take the starch out of them, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it.
You got it, bro.
Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Be seeing you.
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the Scholar shipped in and out with.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know...
Got it. Inside voices.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to Monarch is restricted for now.
Try not to be distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
Rizzo's mock apple cider. A hard cider for a hard life.
Seeking relief from the heat? Till June Lay gets those radiators fixed, I've got the next best thing. Nothing you need and everything you want.
Hot damn.
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip? Ah, that's how you know your weapon loves you back. I got a full line of weapon modifications I'd be happy to show you.
It just me, or has it been deader than usual around
You know, I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting.
Are you listening to me, Emfuru? You can't keep me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene. I'm sorry. Am I causing a scene? See, Emfuru? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place. Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors. You say that like it's weird. I just don't like to leave a debt unpaid, that's all. Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
Something I can help you with? Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here. We don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their branded drugs, and that's simply not tenable. If only my other patients had so many inquiring after them. I'll tell you what I've told the others. The records say Miss Doyle checked herself in and requested I admit no visitors. The requests of our patients are paramount, so no, you may not see her. She's not my patient. I'm certain no one on my staff would falsify patient records, if that's what you're implying. Take care.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service. He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at this rate. I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
That's the experience for just talking to people to get quests though too. Whoa, what am I doing?
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. It's an ale that's good for what ails you. Oh, and it's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. Taste the freedom. A lot of slogans to keep track of. Sometimes I forget. Heard of it? My orientation aetherwave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
That's true.
Yeah. I hope they're gonna be okay.
That's a Spacer's choice beer. Take what you have, polish it up, and make the best of it. So, what can I get you? Soap. Everyone loves soap. Everyone will love you for using it, too.
Damn right they would.
Have a look.
Please tell me I can get that fucking head. Ah, yes. The gloriousness. My God. I don't understand what that diamond emblem is. I really don't. Oh, it's increased condition. Okay. Oh, I didn't notice that last time. Tis the only way. So good, so glorious. Alright, let's go find what's her nuts. Whoa.
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
These stairs are board property.
Ah, the board. Organized, efficient, competent. Well, mostly.
For the following
I
story.
think everything in here is worth more than I made in my whole life.
Scheduled to air.
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer? Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped? Oh, Alex. There were so many arguments we'd yet to have. He was my dearest friend. My only friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him, him wincing. I keep a copy beside my bed. Did he? Ah, that's just like him. Such a sentimental man. Tell me, how did he die? You're quite right, of course. Best not to pry into such dismal things. Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be? Anything at all? That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with? It's personal business, I'm afraid. Miserably, terribly personal. Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. Well, it's my white whale, I suppose. It's fine. Really, it's perfectly fine. I understand. Now, if you've nothing else, please see yourself out. I'd like to drown myself in work.
Okay then.
Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorist Phineas Wells. Report any sightings to the local board embassy.
You look like someone who's taken their share of cuts and bruises. Need some armor? Maybe it's a bit secondhand, but that's only a testament to its durability. We also have a line of specialized melee weapons, for those times you have to repel boarders but don't want to risk a bullet through the hull.
I like it. Whoa, what are you? Poison? Damn it, I wish you'd actually pull it out.
If you're hungry, you've come to the right place. I've got a fresh ground batch of spratwurst cooking. They're terra-fried to lock in the juices. How about a grinder's dozen? Fresh from the grinder, any hour.
Jesus. seriously.
Neat! They got stuff in here I ain't seen in ages.
Now, this should prove interesting, to say the least.
Miss Lilia takes good care of us, see? The authorities stay off our tails.
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legitimate consumers. You the one flying the Unreliable? Miss Lily has been expecting you. I'll unlock the door. Sure am. A few years back, they got me started on simple acquisitions. You know those latches they put on cargo bays ain't worth a damn? These days, I stick to HQ and look after Miss Lilia.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting you down. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. Charmed. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leaky boat of his anywhere. Is Ada still at the helm? I don't know how many times I told Hawthorne to restore that smartass to factory settings. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable set of wings. But there's a catch.
Always.
Just like in the serials.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of freedom. And second, all the goodies that no one had time to pack.
Gasp.
I like that initiative, but ease back on the throttle. Gladys at the Rest and Go might have what you need. If there's anything else, be quick about it. Time is bits. These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Gives me the time to expand our interests into other sectors, where I can let my hair down. Our field is persuasive acquisitions. At least that's how my legal advisors tell me to phrase it. Not all of our salvage is abandoned when we find it. Sometimes it takes a polite conversation and a shot across the bow. You know, legal formalities. Good boy. Knew you'd understand. Very. I have this thing about numbers in spreadsheets. Grids in general. I like to think of myself as the last honest businesswoman in Halcyon, but I'll settle for being the most organized one. Be seeing you. Make sure you aren't followed on your way out.
Yeah, but I have 2 people with me. They're following me consistently.
unbelievable how good it is.
Oh yeah, I got a party invite. Hang on a second. So whenever his voice loads in.
If it's between the Unreliable and the Reston Joe, I believe I'll sleep on the ship.
For the following story. Do you have what it takes to defend your corporate township from the dangers of alien
Good morning.
and the unemployed?
Good morning. You can fuck yourself. How do you like that? That's a good morning. Nah, I'm streaming right now, dude. On the Outer Worlds. This is the third episode I put out.
Pretty fun.
It is a combination of the first 3 Mass Effects, more so the first one, and New Vegas. It's pretty good, actually. What the fuck?
The visuals were throwing Bioshocky vibes my way.
I haven't gotten a Bioshock vibe from it yet. It's weird. But you're not the first person
just like
to say
the
it.
UI and shit.
You're not the first person to say it, though, so... Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we tried doing a raid this morning on Destiny, and that shit went south so quick.
Oh, Jesus. Did you buy the new expansion?
No, not yet. Damien said he'd buy it for me since I started playing Destiny 2 with him, but no,
Fuck that. It's... I don't know. I didn't like it.
It was,
You start off
it was
at
me,
$7.50.
Pick, Trivet, fucking Damien, and Joe, and my cousin Cody. And Jesus Christ, Joe was stoned to the goddamn bone.
What does Jesus Christ have to do with any of this?
Hey Tyler, what's up? Anyway, yeah, but fucking...
Tyler?
But dude, it was fucking insane.
Streaming as well?
I went to fucking...
We
went to do the raid.
That's always good. Ooh, who's this?
We went to do the raid, and
I
Joe just, like, we would say, like, come on, Joe, jump to this platform or something, and he would just fucking stand there, like, I don't know, like he was chasing butterflies or something, like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Monster dragon.
Watch out, something. That's my old roommate, Tyler. Yep. Whenever I lived at the trailer.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm the cool.
I was about to say, I highly doubt you're cooler than me. Or creepier than me. I'm pretty creepy, actually.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, David actually can vouch on that.
Yeah.
I'm
captain around here, but chief to my friends.
He just...
Hope you don't mind the formal introduction.
Wheelchair people are pretty weird, Damien.
Yeah, wheelchair people. Christ.
Tell him about your wheelchair, Damien. Tell him about your wheelchair.
Oh boy.
Alright, I know you have a friend named Damien now.
Hope you
but Damon and Damien are 2 different names.
Just so we understand each other,
just a heads
I'm
up.
the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the
And I
engineers,
was in a
the
wheelchair
family.
for a month.
I hope there
it
won't
was
be any
after I broke
problems while
both
you're
of my
visiting.
femurs.
Why the hell have I not good with?
Fun times.
It was after you broke both of your dicks?
Femurs, but yes.
Leg
Why
dicks?
the God damn it, Mirage, you dumbass. His fucking Mirage was a fucking retard and went off by himself.
That's
Good.
the
Don't
Crucible.
go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. That's how I like it here.
I'll take that.
So what brings you to Groundbreaker?
Yeah, I'll take
I'm
that.
curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's
Looks like we're gonna have to go recover Mirage's banner. Because his dumbass can't do shit to save his own ass.
Interesting.
I thought it was just
The powers
3v3,
that be paint an
100-man
ugly picture
fucking
of
free-for-all. What the hell are you
critters
talking
and
about,
such.
banners and shit?
Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right
It's
weapon for the
3v3.
job.
Well, a banner
We
is
see a lot of the
basically
same
something that
faces
your
coming and
teammate
going.
drops, so you can
Most of
respawn
them
them
board
back.
spies and corporate brats.
Oh, they
Makes
can
it hard to
respawn?
trust outsiders.
Yeah, you can get their banner,
Some
which is
different.
basically
So
just
welcome
like
aboard.
a little thing that holds their info, and if you bring them to a beacon, they can be brought back on the airship and be brought back to fight.
What?
So.
I didn't think you just...
That's pretty
Parvati,
decent.
is it?
Yeah.
That's a lovely name.
All I know is I have.
What can I do for you?
So far, I've already revived,
just
I think,
thinking,
several
I
teammates.
haven't got much experience
Just can't remember
working
how
with
many I've done it.
actual
I've brought them
real
back
spaceships,
for that same
Miss
ship.
Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Maybe
Junlei
it's
is
on
fine.
Nessus. But yeah, Damien, Destiny 2 hasn't been so bad.
Okay.
I have nowhere,
Since you run a
like,
whole
no
space
idea
station,
where to
I was
start,
wondering if-
dude. It's
well,
just like
maybe
750, every
teach
place
me
is
some
unlocked.
things.
There's
I can
no
message you
story
later,
for me to
maybe?
follow. It's just there.
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati.
Yeah.
You can ask me anything.
I know.
I have no
It's
idea
really
why this
strange.
bitch keeps trying to shoot at somebody when we
Believe
don't
me,
have
we started in and Damien was like, you're gonna be really low light level, and then I started in and I was 750 and he was like, Jesus fucking
I'll
Christ,
do
you're
that
higher
then.
than me.
Messages. Later.
And I was like, well, I'll take it.
Oh, your name's pretty too. I should have said sorry.
Like, I don't
like it.
understand the
Honest.
loop to the
Sorry.
game or anything, but I've just been doing campaigns and shit, and I've watched a couple videos to fill in the rest.
Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention.
These bastards think they're smart, but I can hear their dumbasses.
Groundbreaker's radiators
How
need
can you
replacement
hear me? I
parts.
muted my
They're dumping
mic.
superheated
Ha ha,
air into
joke's
my
on
ship.
you, you son of a bitch.
Jesus fucking Christ. What
Only
the hell?
the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner.
I'm in some kind of tribute hall and I'm offering up tributes to this dude. And,
None. Every time I
There's
give into
something
the
weird
board,
going on in here.
Groundbreaker loses its freedom. Soon there won't be anything left. I can't allow that. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If
So
I don't
the
get those
Emperor of the
radiators back
fucking
online,
Cabal invites you to
Groundbreaker,
kill him.
everyone on board
Who
will
does
be cooked
that?
alive.
A very cocky individual.
No shit.
Like, for real, he is that cocky.
Damien's like,
Reasonable, huh?
you think you can break my legs?
That's
Why
the
don't you
best
try
news
it
I've heard
then?
all day. According to my grandmother's old
Like
schematics,
Christ.
the parts
How
we
far
need
did you
should be in
guys
the
get
back
last
bay.
night? Because I don't remember. I remember you guys were at like some sort of big ass like prism-looking thing.
Hold on. There's something you should know.
Where you're
before you go
grabbing, like,
charging on.
That's what time we dropped off.
The back bay is on the lower deck.
It was fucking,
and a haven for miscreants
literally.
now.
It was literally fucking. We were at the boss fight. Like, that was the last trial before the boss fight.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah, and nobody knew it, so we all just got pissed off and quit out, and then I looked it up just because I wanted to see how fucking far away we were.
Good.
And we were literally
obtained
right
the
there
parts,
at
we
the
can
boss
proceed
fight.
to the
After we
next phase
complete
of the
that trial, that giant prism turns into the boss.
Oh, so that's just a trial boss, basically.
Yeah, it's the shortest raid, and it took us, like, Damien, raid should have taken us an hour and a half, 2 hours max.
So unbearable.
Fucking dude, it took us goddamn near 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, and they only just got there.
Alright.
Damien,
Dude, he didn't
he
even
couldn't
fucking
fucking
know.
Yeah.
He didn't know what.
Dude, Jesus Christ.